If you ever watched any of my baking videos, you know how much I love scales. It's the only reliable way to measure flour. Flour is a powder, it's compressible, that's why cups don't work, blah blah blah, you know my spiel. Which often results in comments like these. These are from my pasta video, by the way. First, stresses the importance of weighing your ingredients, then immediately goes to teaspoons of kosher salt, however much that is. Why can't you stick to your own advice and weigh the damn salt, lady? Here's another one. This is a fantastic video, but why are your salt measurements by volume? This is mildly infuriating, as you have used Americanized salt. Kosher salt isn't common in the UK, and I personally don't keep table salt on hand. And I would guess that table salt might not be the same density across the world. I'm just going to hope that 1 teaspoon of table salt is 5 grams of any other salt. So sure, the first guy is just being an asshole, and the second guy is being, how should I put it, mildly infuriating. But they do raise an interesting question. If we're weighing everything else, why aren't we weighing salt? If salt is weighed, the type of salt doesn't matter. 1 gram of one salt provides exactly the same amount of salinity as 1 gram of any other salt. The reason that the volume is different is that different salts have different crystal shape, size, and density. In that pasta video, it would be so easy for me to say that you need 5.7 grams of salt. Instead, I say this: 2 teaspoons of Diamond Crystal Kosher Salt or 1 teaspoon of table salt. And please note that not all kosher salts are the same. Morton's Kosher is saltier than Diamond Crystal Kosher. Why do I give such infuriating salt measurements? Because normal kitchen scales are insanely misleading when measuring small quantities. Here, watch this. Let's weigh 5 grams of salt on a scale designed for small quantities. These are usually called tea, medicine, or jewelry scales, and they are accurate to 1/100th of a gram. Now let's put this amount of salt onto a normal kitchen scale. If we dump it all in, we'll get 4 grams. Not perfect, but close. Unfortunately, that's not how people work with salt. You probably won't dump all of the salt in at once because you don't know how much salt you'll need. What you'll do is sprinkle it in nice and slow. And guess what? If you sprinkle 5 grams of salt slowly onto a regular kitchen scale, you get a nice fat 0. If you add an ingredient in very small increments, your scale won't register it at all. You think my scale's broken? Well, I tried it on 2 more scales from different manufacturers. If I dumped the salt in all at once, the scales read 5 grams. But if I sprinkled it in slowly, they couldn't register it at all. If your batch is pretty big and you need lots of salt, weighing it is perfectly fine. But for most of the batches that home cooks work with, weighing your salt can be completely unreliable unless you have a scale made for small quantities. I surely wish everyone had this kind of scale. They're cheap, they barely take up any space, and they would solve all our salt measurement problems. But I doubt even 1% of my viewers have one. If you are that 1%, let me know in the comments. If you want to get one, I'll link to mine in the description below. I know that these days people want a recipe to be global, but unfortunately there is no such thing. I started my channel to help the students who take my classes. In Boston, Diamond Crystal Kosher Salt is the go-to salt for all professional cooks. It's available in all stores except for Whole Foods. In some cities in the US, it's very easy to find, and in some it's not. That's why I give you the table salt measurement. That's the one salt you can get in absolutely every single supermarket in America. Is table salt different in other countries? Possibly. What do you do about it? You keep notes, try something and adjust next time. You can also buy a scale accurate to 1/100th of a gram and ask me for the gram measurements. If you have a way to measure it, I'd be more than happy to give it to you in grams. The reason I hesitate to give it in the recipe is that most people will weigh it on a regular scale and get a completely wrong amount of salt. And now I have a mistake to admit. I recently made a cabbage salad video where I give you salt by weight in the hopes of eliminating guesswork for people who are not confident with seasoning to taste. I thought 7 grams would be big enough to weigh on a regular scale, but I was wrong. It's big enough if you dump it in all at once, the way I did in the video, because I knew how much salt I wanted to use. I was recently retesting that recipe and added salt gradually, the way someone might do if they didn't know how much salt they needed. And guess what? My scale kept reading 0 after most of my salt was in. Sorry about that, guys. I hope I didn't ruin anyone's salad. Well, live and learn, right? Stay curious, ask questions, just do it nicely. Here are more thought-provoking culinary videos for you to check out, and if you are ever in the Boston area, maybe I'll see you in one of my classes.